YouTube. This is your boy Big E hitting you up. I'm hitting you up from Louisiana. If you have not, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I got a video, got a special guest that's going to give us some insight. So, with no further ado, we're going to bring him on. We got Truck Turner here on video. Truck Turner?
Yeah.
How do you know me?
You're my son.
Okay, all right, good enough. Truck Turner, how long have you been driving trucks?
46 years.
46 years. What was the first truck you drove?
First truck I drove was a R190 International.
R19 International. So, tell us a little bit about that truck.
It's a 55-mile-an-hour truck running empty and about 45 load.
45 load.
A single axle. It's an International, had a 6-cylinder International gasoline motor in it.
Gasoline.
Gasoline motor.
So, in that truck, what did you haul in that truck?
We haul building material, flatbed product.
Building material, flatbed. So, let me ask you this: When did you first drive a semi truck?
I started driving a semi-truck when I was 16 years old.
16 years old. 16. So, how did this come about?
I worked for a company in my hometown, and my dad worked for him, and I went to work for him at a young age, working on the yard. And one day I got in the truck and moved it, and then they asked me to carry the truck out to another facility, which was about 9 miles out in the country. And the boss man asked me, could I make it out there? And I told him, yes, sir. I made it out there, and the rest of it's history.
Okay, the rest of it's history. 9 miles. So, in essence, what you're saying is your truck driving career started with a 9-mile run.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, did anybody teach you how to drive, or you just?
I just watched my dad drive for years, and when I was little, I always went with him during the summertime. My sister and I, and we probably was kind of annoying because we leave home, and before we get out of town, we would sleep. But we did wake up during the daytime, stay awake and watch him do his work. And so his work looked so easy. So we decided we tried, and we've been doing it for 46 years.
Okay. Okay, so what I guess my question is, throughout the years, what all have you hauled?
I started out hauling building product, then I leased on to Mercer and Transportation out of Louisville, Kentucky, and that was still flatbed. And then I left there and went to XL Meat, haul meat. And that's when I was introduced to the refrigerator part of it. And I drove refrigerator for years, and then about 2010 or 12, I went back. I started this hopper bottom business, and ran a couple of loads. Then I parked my truck and thought I would do good by working for somebody else, and that didn't pan out. And so now I'm back with doing hopper bottom. So been doing hopper bottoms here for the last 4 or 5 years.
You said hopper bottom. You said you park your truck. So you own a truck?
I own 3 of them.
Oh, you own 3 trucks. Okay. Okay, so let's get into the trucks that you've driven in the past. So everybody nowadays are driving automatics, and you know they don't drive manual shift trucks. So you used to having a stick in the floor, right?
Yes, used to having a stick in the floor. Sometime 2.
Sometime too.
It started with the 5 and the 4, but I kind of went from that to 13 speed, 15 speed. Now we got 18 speed. Don't know nothing about an automatic. Couldn't tell you anything about it if you asked me.
So you said 5 and a 4.
5 and 4. That's two sticks in the floor. Five gears on one stick and 4 on the other, with the four speed box was an auxiliary box married to the 5 speed.
Okay. Okay. So let's ask this. So what's coming up? Not necessarily what you own, but as far as a company truck, what was the first truck you drove that really had some power, that really you got to drive?
1976 Kenworth had a 350 Cummins in it with a 13 speed. That truck was the first truck that I drove that didn't have to worry about it getting up the hill with a load on it.
So it just gone. You just walk on up the hill.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go and since you pull reefer. So in reefer you've done meat, produce, all that.
Yes.
Ice cream.
No ice cream.
No
Yes.
ice cream. Just the frozen meat and frozen vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Produce.
basically meat, all chickens from Mississippi to California, and then produce back to Florida, Georgia,
Mhm.
and come back and get a little chicken.
Okay.
And all orange juice from Florida to California, and produce back to Florida.
So you used to run coast to coast.
Yes.
Okay. And so then what's the first truck you ever owned?
First truck I was on was a 73 Kenworth. Had a three and a quarter Caterpillar motor, which was a 1693 at the time. Cabo.
Cabo. All right. So was that truck, when you first got that truck, how did you feel about that?
That's kind of feel proud about it because it was the first truck I owned. Turned out the truck made me a little bit of money, but it cost me a little bit because I wasn't very well mechanical inclined. So the truck and I grew up as far as being a mechanic. It would break and I had to fix it.
Oh, so you couldn't pull it into the Loves and TA and Petro and how it didn't work on it.
At that time, we were just putting flatbed and deliver a load down in Houston and come back around and power divider brakes, and then you just try to get it home. And I backed it up many nights in my garage and tore it down myself, put it back together, buy new gears, and the next morning put it back together, go back load again.
Okay. All right, so you say you own 3 trucks. So how many trucks have you owned over the years? Would you say?
Probably 5.
5 trucks.
Had a 82 model, traded off
82
a
model what?
Peterbilt,
Peterbilt.
and traded off 91 Peterbilt.
And these all cabo?
These conventional 379.
Conventional 379.
No, well, the 82 is 359. Best truck I should have kept.
Best truck you should have kept. Which color was that? That blue truck?
Corvette blue.
Okay. That was that flat top with the straights.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that truck would run?
Yeah, the truck was, had some mechanical work on it, peaked and tweaked and tuned, and that truck probably would run out about 120, 130.
120, 130.
Yeah, I seen 120 before and still had another year to go.
So you said you said the speed of them to hit 120 and you had another gear to go?
Yeah.
That truck would run. Okay. So you traded that truck. That was the truck you said you should have kept.
Yeah, because I should have found me another transmission, because the transmission was a 146 13 speed, and the gear was turning around backwards, and the engine RPMs was just kind of maxed out at 26, but then it had a gears in the very end that was, they said it was 410. So whenever you went to a 12 gear, the RPMs dropped pretty good, and then the engine had to pick it back up. So it was geared high.
Okay. So the truck you traded that one in on?
It was a 91 Peterbilt 379. It had a 4 1/4 B model cat with a 15 speed with 390s in it.
How well that truck run? Was it run pretty good?
Yeah, it was a little bit slower truck. It probably run out about 80.
Okay. And then after that, what did you?
Traded that truck off for a 980 Peterbilt, which I still own. And it's got a 550 Caterpillar in it, 18 speed, 355. Owned it since it was brand new.
So you got that truck brand new. So 98. That was the year I graduated high school. So that was a good year. So you own a truck and I graduated high school. Brand new truck, shall I say. So that truck, which you still have, how has it treated you?
Very good. It got 1,300,000, probably 1,400,000 on it, and hadn't had anything done to the engine. Had one rear end put in the back chunk. Front chunk probably needs it now, because it's got 1,400,000, but it's still running strong.
Still running strong. So that truck right there is what you would call your pride of the fleet, huh?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't call it pride of the fleet, but it's the one that made a living and made money, and so I mean, it's just something that it made my living, and since it helps send you and your sister's school.
Okay. So then let me ask you this. How has trucking changed since you first started?
Quite a bit. We had law books. We can manipulate the law book. Nowadays you can't do that because ELD, electronic. I don't believe you had very many wrecks back there then. And then a lot of the drivers that drove those trucks was true to the business. They drove truck and they stuck to that. They was people that did their work and they would love their work. Nowadays, these younger guys, I don't think I think they're just doing it for the money, and some of them doing it just to say they're truck drivers.
Okay. So you think that they've trucking has changed? It's just the love of it is not necessarily there. It's just more about the money than it is.
Yeah, it's more about the money. So far as the industry changing, it'll change because in the business, fuel prices go up. So some of the freight rate had to go up, and then some of the freight brokers is still where they were back years ago. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, everybody has to change when the fuel prices go up. Everybody needs to go up on their money to get it hauled.
So so the broker needs to go up on what he's getting the loads for from the shipper, and then the driver got to go up and so he can make his money as well, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I follow you. So you've never worked for a mega carrier, so to speak.
No.
Because Mercer is about the biggest company you work for.
Yeah, that was on operator.
And you was on operator, so you was on your own boss then. So at the time when you was, I guess, we can't say when you first getting into it, because there probably was no mega carriers then. But I guess when you maybe was in your 30s or so, 20s, 30s, who was the big companies, are any of them still in business now?
No, not that I know of. I know you had Jay's Rolls down in Houston, pulled flatbeds. And then of course you had KLLM. They still in business. But a couple of motor carriers that I can't call the name right now, but Haskins over in the Long Beach area. Mm-hmm. And then you had one down in Lufkin area. Both of them, I don't think they in business anymore. I know the one in Long Beach, Lufkin is not, but I don't know about the Long Beach.
So what about like your Primes?
I didn't know nothing about Prime.
Okay.
Didn't know nothing about it.
What about Crete and
Didn't know nothing about them.
Nothing. So basically, back then, those companies had to be much smaller companies for you not to really know anything about.
They probably existed, but wasn't something that caught my eye.
I got you. Well, I guess that's it. I'm not gonna hold you. I wanted to get you on camera and get to ask you a few questions and give you an insight. So I guess one last question I would ask is, if somebody was getting into trucking or thinking about getting into trucking, what suggestion would you have for them, or what would you tell them before they got their CDL or attempted to get their CDL?
Make sure that this industry is what you want to be in, because there's going to be some long times that you can't be at home for birthdays, graduations, and anniversaries. So you need to make sure that the industry is what you want to be in, and then also you need to pay attention to the things that your instructor tells you, but when you go out in the real world, some of that's going to be different. So you need to pay attention to your daily walk every day as you travel up and down the highway.
All right, let that be it. So again, if you have not, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, comment on the video. This is Truck Turner, better known as my dad. You got a chance to hear from him. And just know that we still out here pulling weight, bro. Y'all have a good day. God bless.